Hello again everybody and welcome back to Will Does Magic. My name is Will. I hope you're all having a magical day and welcome to this special 600 subscriber video that I've got lined up for you guys here. We've got an amazing card trick, but perhaps more importantly, we got a giveaway coming up for you guys. So if you do want to enter that giveaway, it's going to be the same thing as last time we did with 500 subscribers. It's simply going to be that I want you to write a comment down below with anything that has to do with magic, just so I see that you're engaged. And this giveaway will only happen if we hit 15 likes on the video, so that I know you guys actually want it. So like the video down below, comment something, and also if you do want an extra entry, all you gotta do is go on Instagram and follow Will Does Magic on Instagram. I'll link it down below in the description as well. But that's all you gotta do. One of you guys is gonna win an Amazon gift card, and that's just from me to show you guys some kind of appreciation for everything you're doing to me, and that we're growing so quickly together, guys, and I can't really thank you guys enough. So this is the smallest I can do, and hopefully I can compromise with a bit of a trick here that I've kind of done myself for many years now, and I think is a great closer. So if you do like this video and want that giveaway, leave a like on the video, comment anything you want down below, guys, and if you're new to the channel, give it a subscribe as well. But for now, let's get into the performance of this special 600 subscriber trick. So as you can see, guys, we're using the Talios today, and that's because I've got a couple spare cards because we're going to write on the back of these, and I don't want to destroy my only green monarchs that I'm using normally. So just bear with me that we are going to use the Talios for this trick. Now this trick is very simple but very complicated in a way, and I'll get to that why. Because you're going to pick a card out at random. Now this deck is shuffled. I can show you that all the cards are different and there's no setup to it. And the way this is going to work, so I'm going to let you pick a card in a second here, but you're not going to see which card you're picking, and I'm not going to know what card you're picking. So we're going to give the deck a good shuffle, and as you can see, all the cards are totally mixed up. Now I want you to pick out a card at random from anywhere in the deck. So let's say you pick the card right over here, and then I'm going to have you sign it on the back. So let's just do it from your perspective. So W, D, and M for Will Does Magic. Now we're going to let that dry for just a second while we square up the rest of the cards. Now, as I said, you don't know what card it is, I don't know what card it is. That's the special thing about this trick. And none of us are going to know what card it is until the end of the trick. That's why we marked it on the back with Will Does Magic. Hopefully that is dried off enough. Now so we're going to put it on the top of the deck, and we're going to cut the cards. Just like that. Now we can go ahead and cut the cards as many times as we like. We still don't know what your card is. So if I were to cut these cards once again and turn the deck over, your card could be any card out of all of this. That's the beauty of this trick. So once we know this, we can actually go ahead and shuffle all these cards now. As a riffle shuffle, we can cut the cards as long as we don't see the back of the cards. That's the main point now. So in theory, any one of these cards could be your card right now. And we don't know what that card is. We're going to go ahead and give it a couple more cuts, and then we're going to spread out the cards again. So as you can see, any one of these cards could be yours. They're all mixed up. I want you to pick either, we'll split the cards in half just because I've got a smaller table. If we've got a bigger table, we can do this all at once, but just because we've got a smaller one, I'm going to split the deck into two halves. We got pile number 1 and pile number 2. I want you to pick one of the piles. Pick pile number 1. All right, we're going to get rid of pile number 2 here. And then we're going to take the remainder cards and just kind of spread them out a bit on the mat here, just to kind of give it a bit more space, just so that every card can be kind of seen out. Something like that. That will probably work. Now we're going to get back to the marker. And if you were here, I would like you to grab my wrist, and I would hold the marker, and I would go around all the cards like this. And I want you to say stop whenever you like. So let's say you say stop right there. Stop. I'm going to lower it just down, pinning down one card. Now we're going to get rid of all the rest of the cards. Now remember, we started the trick with a shuffled deck of cards. You pick the card at free will, you sign the back of it. None of us have seen the selected card so far. We sign the card, we put it back in the deck, we shuffle the deck as much as we wanted. You picked one of the piles to keep on the table, you told me to say stop wherever you liked. You stopped me on the 8 of clubs. Hopefully on the back we should see that Will Does Magic logo. Now that's the trick, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Now let's get into the tutorial of this trick. So as I said, guys, this is probably one of my favorite closing tricks out of all time, because not only is it a great effect, but it leaves your audience with a souvenir if they want it, so they can keep it, and every time they look at this card they'll think about that trick and how you did it. So it's a great closer if you want to have something more special that they can remember it by. Otherwise you can use it as a normal routine in the middle or in the early stages, but I specifically like to use it as a end effect. Now the way this works is very simple, and it's got two, I would say, sleight of hands, but it's really not. One, you got to know what the bottom card is, and the other one is a variation of Magician's Choice. Now we'll get into that when we get to that in the tutorial, but for now we're going to start off with a normal deck of cards. Now this is not a full deck because I don't have enough cards, honestly, because I've done so many sign-in tricks, so my cards pretty much run out. But you want to use a deck of cards. It could be a full deck of cards, not a full deck of cards. Give them a good shuffle. You can let the spectator shuffle the cards if they want to. And then you're going to show them that all the cards are different. And they're not set up in any specific way. They're all different. And then you'll have them select any card at random. Now you can give the deck as many cuts, shuffles as you want. Let them select a card at random. Now you're going to tell them, do not look at the card, just pull it out and put it on the table. So let's say they select the card right over here. You square up the cards. Now you're going to ask them to sign the back of it with their initials, their anything so they recognize that card. They still are not allowed to look at their card, and you're not supposed to know what that card is until later on. While they're doing this, I want you to get a glance on that bottom card. Now this is going to be the key card to the whole trick right here. So get a glance at that 4 of hearts. You tell them to put the card, let it dry a bit, put the card back on top, give the deck a cut. Now what this does is that it leaves the 4 of hearts, the key card, on top of their card. Now you want to give the deck a couple more cuts just to get it lost. And then you're going to show them, you're going to turn the deck over and show them that your card could be anyone out of all these cards. Now the only thing you're looking for here is to see which card comes before the 4 of hearts. In this case, that's Ace of Clubs, which is going to be their card. Now once you've located that Ace of Clubs, the card before your key card, you can square up the deck again and you can tell them, all right, we don't want to see what card you picked, so let's shuffle them this way. And then you can let them shuffle as many times as they want, because you already know what their selected card is. So you let them shuffle, they can do cuts, they can do however they like. Let them shuffle up the cards. And then you say, all right, here's where you can take this trick into 2 ways. If you got a bigger table, I would still probably split the deck into 2 halves and do Magician's Choice, because it will get a lot harder the more area you have to work with doing the selection later on. So I would spread the cards out again, locate that Ace of Clubs, which is now over here, and say that, all right, I'm going to split the deck pretty much in half. And I want you to pick pile number 1 or pile number 2. Now you always want to keep the pile that's got the Ace of Clubs in it. So let's say they pick pile number 1, you say that, all right, I'm going to get rid of pile number 1. If they pick pile number 2, you're going to say, all right, we're going to keep pile number 2 and get rid of pile number 1. That's Magician's Choice pretty much. You always stay with the pile that's got their selected card in it. So we're going to get rid of pile number 1. And then from here, what I like to do is either shuffle the cards up a bit more. Oh, sorry, yeah, don't do it that way. Do it this way so they don't see that initials or whatever they wrote on the back of it. So you can shuffle up the cards if you want to, and then you're going to dribble out the cards on the table. And you want to spread the cards out in a way, preferably so that their card is somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be too far up or too far down, but somewhere in the middle, and I'll get to that in a second why. So preferably somewhere in the middle. I know in my performance I had at the bottom, it doesn't really matter, but here's where that second Magician's Choice is going to come into play. So let's say we just spread them out like that. Preferably you might not want to have it straight in the middle, but a bit to the side as well, because dead center is going to be too obvious, but somewhere around the middle is pretty much good. Now here's where the trickiest part of this trick might come into play. You want to grab the Sharpie or a magic wand or wherever you got, and you want to force that ace of clubs now. Now the way you're going to do it is that you're going to let them hold on to your wrist, and you're going to move around. And whenever they say stop, you want to make sure that you're stopping above that ace of clubs. Now the way to do this, or the way I like to do it, is that I'm moving around in a way so that I'm always going up and back to that ace of clubs in any kind of movement. Now the faster and more chaotic it looks, they're not going to notice that you're going towards that ace of clubs most of the time. Because whenever they say stop, you're going to have to pull it back to the ace of clubs. So if they say stop there, stop. They move around, stop. Stop. So if you're doing it fast enough, you're going to be able to pull it back even if they say stop on the completely wrong side. And that's why you want to keep it a bit tighter, because if you got too much, this whole movement is going to be too much to cover around. So keep it a bit tighter, keep it closer to the center, because if you're always going to go through a corner, it's going to look too suspicious. So keep it somewhere in the center, move around, let's say to say stop, put it down. Now this is going to take some practice, and this is probably the part where you're going to practice the most. So just keep this moving, practice saying stop, moving around, stop, moving around, stop, always getting back to that ace of clubs. And as I said, the more you practice this, the more natural it's going to look. So don't worry about it. It will be a bit chunky in the start, but you will get the hang of it. And also, if you've got an audience that is around you and not straight above, as I'm filming right now, you can always stop a bit off and then kind of slightly move it towards an angle towards that ace of clubs. It won't see it as an audience perspective if you're standing around. If I would go like this from you guys, you would see it because the camera is facing straight above. But if you're in that area and you got people around you, you say stop and then you move slightly towards that ace, they're not going to notice it, trust me. Now once you got that ace, you keep that Sharpie on it, you take away all the other cards, and you go about what the trick happens. So took a deck of cards, we shuffled it, you picked a card at random that none of us knew what card it was. You signed the back of it, we put it back in the deck. We shuffled the deck, we split the deck into two halves. You got to pick the pile to keep, which they didn't, but that's what you're going to say. We then spread all the cards out. I took my hand, you took my wrist, and you decided where to stop me. That's the main part, that you're going to have them hold your wrist so that they think they decided when they stopped you. We picked out one card that you helped me stop, and hopefully that should be their selected card. Now this trick works very, very well in groups of people, and as I said, if you loosen them up with a couple of other tricks beforehand, as a closer, this might be the best trick that you can do, because they get to keep that card as a souvenir of what you just did. And in my opinion, if you can go back and always look at memories of tricks, that really creates a better impact in the long term than just straight at the moment, because they'll always remember what happened whenever they see that card. Now, the main part you got to practice here is that Magician's Choice stopping. I do not know what it's called. I think it's got a name for it, but I can't come up with it right now. So if you do know, please let me know down in the comments. But practice this trick a lot, guys. It's helped me a lot through the years of Magic, just doing a fun, really good performance for it. So please give it a shot. It will not disappoint you. If you don't want to write on the back of the cards, you can use a post-it note or put a bit of tape on it before you write it, so that you don't have to throw away these cards after one usage pretty much. But if you do got a couple decks, I do recommend doing this like this, because it makes it a lot easier. The post-it note won't stick to anything else and it won't fall off during mid-performance and stuff like that. So writing on the card is the best, but there's other options you can do. Anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. If you do want that giveaway, please give us the 15 likes and I promise it will happen. If you do want to enter it, give a comment down below about anything in Magic and also what you guys want to see next on this channel. If you're new or if it's the first time you're seeing me, please give me a subscribe button and help us grow to 700 now. That's our next goal coming up, and we'll do another giveaway at 700. Also check out the Instagram that I linked down in the description down below, just where I'll be posting more non-tutorial things, maybe a bit more about Magic community and help us grow together as well as one. But that's it for today. I hope you all be practicing this a lot. I hope you all be having a magical day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.